Hey everyone, and welcome to day 4 of this research journey. Today's focus is refining my research question and hypotheses. It might sound like a small step, but in science, how you frame your question can make or break your entire project. I started with a big general curiosity, and now I'm shaping that into something precise, testable, and journal-ready. A solid research project doesn't start with a hunch. It starts with a clearly defined question. Why? Because specificity leads to clarity, and clarity leads to real, actionable science. You can't test what you can't define. That's the rule. My first draft was something like, how do carbs affect gut health? Interesting, sure, but also way too broad. It didn't focus on a measurable outcome, a specific type of carbohydrate, or even a condition to narrow it down. I started refining. Instead of all carbs, I zeroed in on FODMAPs, a specific category of fermentable carbs. Instead of just gut health, I focused on SIBO, a condition with measurable symptoms and clear microbial changes. The question became sharper and way more research-ready. Through article annotations and literature reviews, I learned that certain types of carbs, especially fermentable ones, can affect SIBO symptoms and even alter microbial diversity. Studies also linked high FODMAP intake to increases in gas-producing bacteria, which ties directly to symptom severity in SIBO. That gave me a clear, evidence-backed direction. So here's where the thinking has landed. 3 hypotheses that each target a slightly different mechanism in how carbs affect SIBO. Hypothesis 1. In people with SIBO, eating high FODMAP carbohydrates will lead to more hydrogen gas production within about 2 hours, compared to low FODMAP carbs. That's based on how fermentable FODMAPs are and how much bacteria love to feed on them. Hypothesis 2. Resistant starches, like what you'd find in legumes or cooled potatoes, will result in lower blood glucose and less hydrogen gas than fast-digesting starches like white bread. Basically, slow digesters is equal to calmer gut response. And for hypothesis 3, carbs that are more likely to produce short-chain fatty acids, like butyrate, might actually reduce symptom severity in SIBO patients over a few days. That's because SCFAs have anti-inflammatory effects that may improve gut motility. Each of these is grounded in something I've already read or annotated, and all 3 are clear enough to build a real experiment around. Now, here's why these hypotheses actually work for JEI. They're not just interesting ideas. They're testable, measurable, and focused on variables I can actually control and observe. Each one compares 2 conditions, whether it's high versus low FODMAPs, slow versus fast-digesting starches, or high versus low SCFA potential. And instead of saying, I think this will work, I'm setting up situations where I can measure something real, like hydrogen gas, blood sugar, or symptom scores. Basically, it's science, not speculation. Now, let's talk about specificity. Being too broad makes it hard to actually test anything. Do carbs affect SIBO? Sure, but which carbs? And how do they affect it? What can I measure? By narrowing the scope, I've made my research sharper and more meaningful. Specific hypotheses don't just help me test my ideas. They help me build better experiments and actually move the science forward. So, where does this all go? Next up is experimental design. I'm going to start mapping out what kind of data I'd actually need to collect to test these ideas. That means things like, what's my sample size, and what counts as a significant change, and how often would someone do a breath test, and what's a reliable symptom scale. It's time to move from what if to how exactly. Thank you so much, and stay tuned for my next video.